If you lose, your wife will suffer dire consequences.
One of us has lied. Let us let God decide.
The new film, called The Last Duel, comes from the minds of two actors, gave us back in the 90s Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. No, obviously we're not in Boston anymore, we are in medieval France. But these are scenes from The Last Duel, which opens in theaters today. Eli has seen it. Eli is here to tell us about it. I can't wait to hear about this one because I'm looking forward to your telling us all of how they've transposed. This is like this is based on a true story and a fascinating true story about a maiden, a squire, a knight, 14th century France. I mean, it has all of the ingredients. Tell us more, Eli.
You got it, Heather. Okay, so Matt Damon finds this book, The Last Duel, true tale, as you mentioned, of the last duel to the death, trial by combat. That's how they used to settle things. Took place in medieval France. Matt loves this. He reads it. He gives it to his friend Ridley Scott, director. Scott says, fantastic, let's make it. We don't have a writer. And then this is what I love. Matt and Ben Affleck are still buddies. Like, they've been buddies since growing up as kids in school. And so Matt and Ben are having dinner, and Ben says, why don't we write it? So they decide, okay, yeah, let's write it. But one of the 3 points of view in this story is of a woman's. They're great guys.
A most unspeakable charge has been brought against you.
Jacques Legris entered our home. He attacked me.
The story behind the story. Now, let me take you to medieval France, 1386. The crowd is assembled in the muddy courtyard below. Two knights prepare for combat. It's a cold, snowy day, but you can hear the crowd's lust for blood as the king raises his hand. Let's go. But what makes this unique is that the story is told 3 different times from 3 different perspectives. We begin with Matt Damon as Jean the warrior. He is less a man than a human battering ram, but this illiterate blockhead is a great warrior. And with great effort and determination, Jean starts to get ahead in life, eventually marrying a wonderful woman named Marguerite, who comes with a wonderful dowry. Now, Jean's friend is Jacques. Adam Driver is the squire who's good with numbers, handsome, and very useful to the court and king. One day, when Jean returns wearily from battle, he comes home and his wife greets him with a shocking accusation. Let's listen.
A most unspeakable charge has been brought against you.
Jacques Legris entered our home. He attacked me.
The accusation is false.
I am telling the truth.
The truth does not matter.
But that is only one of 3 versions. Then we rewind the record. We see things from Adam Driver's character's point of view. The slippery squire who sees it not as rape, but a torrid love affair. You know, women always protest just out of politeness and formality. And then there's Marguerite's story. Her husband insisting on deciding who is right by trial, by combat. But he has left out, he's neglected to mention that if he dies, she will be burnt alive. Let's listen to this husband and wife.
I am risking my life for you.
You are risking my life so you can fight your enemy and save your bride. And that could render our child an orphan. Or did you not think of that?
If you recognize the face, you might know Jodie Comer from the series Killing Eve.
I'm loving this, but you've got to give the full French words for the Jean le Carouge. I mean, really, you can really sink into those, Eli. So that's Ben Affleck's character, and he's really scarred up, isn't he, in all of this? Such anticipation for Ben and Matt Damon working together again. doing this, writing, and then appearing. How did it go for them this time? We know what a success they had back in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, they had Oscars last time. I don't know necessarily whether that's in the cards, but I think there's some great performances. I mean, with his medieval mullet and the scars, Matt Damon isn't going to win any beauty contest this time, but that's very much the point. Like, this is someone who has fought doggedly for everything he has. It's never come naturally to him, and it's interesting to see how it shifts from proud to pig-headed, depending on who's telling the story. Now, the MVP of the movie might actually be Ben Affleck. He is the co-writer, but more of a supporting character this time. There he is, this kind of 14th century equivalent of a trust fund baby, the beach blonde count of the court, friend of the king, carousing, calling for wine and women. I think it might be his most entertaining role since Jersey Girl, but the movie is much more about the bond between Jean and Jacques. Matt Damon and Adam Driver as the squire, who seems dependable at first, but then more of a supplicant and social climber, Heather.
You know, but the fact that this is told, as you laid out, Eli, 3 times from different perspectives, that would seem to me to ask a lot from the audience. Does it work?
I think it does. I think it's fascinating, and it's not just a dry intellectual exercise. As you see each story being told from different perspectives, you start to see how the characters are presented and framed differently. So we start with Jean the warrior, and it's a heroic tale defending his wife, his traitorous friend, the humble knight, the court sneering at this good, knightly man. Then we shift to Jacques, and Jean isn't so much saving the day as he is blundering forward, driven by his own wounded ego. Now, the last version is Marguerite's, and with the word truth lingering on screen a little longer, suggests perhaps this is the definitive account. Like Adam Driver's character, Jacques, Marguerite is a very intelligent, well-read woman who understands all too well how little power she has. In the end, in this world, medieval France, all she really has is her word, and she's not willing to surrender that at risk of death. Now, I know this might sound like some medieval version of Law and Order, all the shifting accounts and testimonies, but let's not forget the man behind the camera. We have some great behind-the-scenes footage. It is Ridley Scott, the guy who gave us Gladiator, a guy who knows a thing or two about epic storytelling. And so in the end, with Marguerite tied in chains above that bonfire, about to be lit, the truth, who is right and who will be believed, is going to be settled by men in metal suits thrashing each other to pieces. Now, I do think perhaps a braver film would have left it to the audience to draw their own conclusions, but I will tell you, Heather, at the end, I was on the edge of my seat with every single blow as combat commenced. 4 stars out of 5.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, Eli gives it 4, and we appreciate it as always. Good to see you on a Friday. Thanks, Eli.